Oh, okay, well, I'm going to put on my shoes, so it's going to be cool video angles.
Already started. Hey, everybody, welcome to the Untitled Twitch stream, the podcast that isn't going to be called that for much longer, but still is right now because I don't like any of the names we've come up with so far. Same thing for everyone else. Chris is putting on his shoes. Ashley, the reason why we started early is so she has to leave, and she's not even here yet. How you fucking like that?
I mean, you say early. We ran into another time zone thing, and the two of us agreed that this is the time. So I feel like
Actually, even
you've
more.
been outnumbered.
I agreed that it was an hour from now.
Yeah, but you're the only one. We thought that it was now.
Also, so same thing with you because you wrote.
But I spoke to you, John. I spoke to you 2.5 hours ago, and you said in 2 o'clock your time.
Well, whatever.
And when I said 90, when I said 90, that was my surprise that we weren't starting right now.
All right, whatever.
And then I watched a karate fail video and I laughed very hard. People are bad at karate.
No, I just hate this. It's so late. I don't want to ever do math again. So I don't care. Let's just do this. I fucking hate it. It's also just everything else that's been going on the internet. I'm just kind of done with stand-up comedy in a lot of ways. Like I literally almost said send on an email that would be so bad, but I'm also just like, some of you are literally just using this to get ahead in your careers, and that is despicable. Like it's also, by the way, like for what people talk about you behind your backs, and you think that you're gonna, like, when this falls, my friends, you're all, no one's defending us. It's like because of shit like this, and I'm not filling in details. Everyone's gonna have to speculate.
Oh, did you hear about the fucking Marvel fallout?
What Marvel fallout?
So
the superhero fallout from Marvel? Is there
so
not a superhero called Fallout?
I don't know if you guys I don't know if you guys have watched any of the new stuff, but Kang, the time traveling time lord evil man, he's the new Thanos. He's the next Thanos for this phase. Just got arrested in New York for strangulation and assaulting a woman and general violence.
So he really is a destroyer of worlds.
They have three. That was very nice, John. They have three phases left in this fucking thing. They have billions of dollars invested in it. And someone I saw a tweet go because my Twitter went nuts for it, and someone quote tweeted an old tweet from and it was just like, some of you are going nuts for this for a certain Marvel actor. And everybody loves him, but this person is a fucking monster.
Oh, it's so nice.
And then he tweeted it back again, being like, "Yep." It's like, Jesus Christ, man.
Do you guys remember when Thomas Middleditch of Silicon Valley got outed in the pandemic for being like LA's biggest sex pest? I don't know if this was only big LA news or if this was big world news.
I saw it because it was big comedy news.
Yeah, Ashley, did it penetrate your sphere?
No.
Anyway, Thomas Middleditch.
I do remember hearing something about Silicon Valley, but I didn't hear any specifics.
Oh, well, they had a couple. TJ Miller went down too.
Yeah, TJ Miller.
Yeah, that was the one. That was the one.
Yeah.
Because I hated that because he's the most famous person that follows me on Twitter.
Mm-hmm. TJ Miller, only comedian to be overtly rude to my face. Because I think I did better than him on a show, and I think his girlfriend was like, "Oh, this comedian's funny." It was 2010 Just for Laughs, and he was like, and I was like, "What?" And I remember I was like 25, being like, "Wait, what, bro? I don't know how to flirt with girls. You got no problem here, man."
It was nice to me.
Of course he was. So, Ashley, have you seen Silicon Valley? Okay, there's a main nerdy guy that you would find very irritating. He's like an American guy acting like an English person, and you would fucking hate his guts.
Yeah, he's like if Jesse Eisenberg really ramped it up.
Oh, that's exactly what he is. Oh, God, that's such a punchable description of a human being.
Yeah.
Ashley, you're really
getting
in there.
It doesn't sound like my cup of tea.
Oh, certainly not. Everything already.
I had to blow my nose, thank you. And I was really polite enough to mute my microphone with it.
That was very polite of you.
I disagree. I wanted to hear the honks.
I didn't see you were muted. I just was like, that is the quietest nose blowing I've ever seen in my life. Ashley is so dainty and elegant. Oh my
I don't do the
god.
mute on this. I do one on my microphone.
Because here's the thing: is I didn't know that you were muted.
mute.
I thought you were just silently picking your nose. That's what it looked like to me. And I'm just like, this is. I got to tell you, I'm here for it. I like it. I love it. They're like just like.
I mean, I'm not gonna go all out on this, but I probably do blow my nose in a daintier fashion than some people.
All right, you can't mute next time. Then we're gonna have to hear the honk. We're gonna have to. We're gonna need proof.
But here, the pro Chris is we're coming up against the fact she's from Ireland, which means she was at least raised around Catholic repression. So like the people that have like taught her to not make a noise, they're the experts.
But isn't that like, isn't blowing your nose one of those ways that you can just get that out? Like I decided post-COVID that now I just fart. Like, that's the one. I think there's something
Chris, do you know why people say bless you after you sneeze?
Yeah, because it's your soul trying to get out of your body and saying bless you, crams it back in. Everyone knows that.
Everyone knows that, actually.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that.
Everyone knows. Steeped in religion. That's so like.
Yeah.
I just want to stop the presses right here. Are the only two ways the devil has figured out to get our souls waiting for us to sneeze?
Masturbating and sneezing.
Whoa, masturbating. So 3? Because I have offering a contract to purchase your soul. The sneezing.
Is that why women were like scared to squirt for so long? Because that was your soul coming out? And the devil's like, haha, gotcha.
I mean, women were scared to have any sexual existence for so long.
Not at my house. Yo.
Yeah. Thin walls of the old Hastings abode.
This feels cancelable.
It certainly does. It does. I agree with you. There's something about this that should be clipped and played on a news site. Yeah.
I don't know. Yes. I thought you were talking about your mom.
I mean, I was just more in general, just being kind of weird. I was more a house I live in, not with my mom. You know what I'm saying? Where like ladies come over.
Do you guys have? So I didn't. When you said the Hastings house, when I hear like last name house, I immediately assume childhood home because I still don't see anyone as an adult.
No, absolutely not. No. Also, my childhood home was the McNeish home.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah.
See?
All right. Well, I'll shut up.
Because Ashley's childhood home has been put up for sale. They sold the livestock.
My childhood home is for sale, and as of this week, my parents are homeless.
Oh no! They get kicked out of Portugal?
So they left Spain to go to Portugal, and they had a house lined up when they got there, but they got there, and the guy was trying to pull a fast one, and basically brought them around this little side entrance and was like, this is what I was selling you the whole time. And it's like, no, it's not. So they had to walk away, and they've been living out of their van for the past few days.
Oh no.
It's pretty rough.
Yo.
Yeah, they should start a really successful Instagram page. They'd be huge.
I'm going to say this right now.
I think that they should.
I don't want to be rude. A, they should definitely do that. They should 100% do that. B, is anyone else really pissed off at this guy pulling a fast one in Portugal? Like Spain, because of so many English people, I assume there's various land scams
they
going
knew
on.
He was trying to pull a tax fast one because they were going to be paying him in a couple of different ways. To pay for the rent, and they were kind of like, yeah, we'll do this because it's going to benefit us long term as well. But
that person hacked Ashley.
Oh no, Portugal attacks.
Oh no, Portugal is attacked.
There, and it was just
Ashley,
Black Hawk down.
Ashley, breaker one.
Where's Josh Hartnett when you need him?
Yeah.
Was giving them at all.
Wow, this is fascinating.
What is more fascinating? She can't hear us at all.
Yeah.
I want to know this story.
But it sounded like she was just like looped her going like oh.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh.
Actually,
like she was being sampled.
The machine.
Ooh, Deus Ex Machina.
Other anime videotapes from Roger's Video in the 90s I never rented, but I was intrigued.
Oh, Gundam?
I don't know Gundam. What's Gundam?
It's they're like, I think someone listening to this is going to be very mad when I try to describe how I remember Gundam from 30 years ago.
I really hope it's also mispronounced. I hope you're not saying it correctly. I hope it's actually like Gundam or something like that.
Probably. Yeah, someone's going to faux me.
Oh my god. Exactly.
I love Kyle Kinane's bit about that. Have you seen that?
Oh yeah,
He's like, I love faux, and I know some of you are like, it's pronounced pho. It's like, all right, well, I'd rather support the community. I can't remember the joke because it's early, but it's funny. You should watch it.
Oh, the bit is very good. He's like, do you think there's someone in Vietnam being like, it's called a meatball sub? It's very good. Although when someone pointed out that all of his bits always relate back to food, I was just like, man, don't fucking pull at the strings, man.
Yeah. There is a lot. I mean, especially like his Netflix, like 15 and a half hour, which I really feel like he phoned in, which was funny.
I 100% agree with you. Here is my 100% not proven total speculative theory. I think he thought he should have gotten an hour. Yeah. And then was like, I'll fucking swoop through this. And no one saw Nate Bargatze coming because that was very much the like transition point in stand-up from LA being the hot city with Nerd Melt and all that sort of stuff. And the store just suddenly like we're switching to like New York is like the indie. Whoa, that's where the cool music is. Well, LA was like where the big boys were. And then all those people stopped doing stand-up and moved to Austin. And now LA is in this weird rebuilding phase that's so fucking bizarre. And New York is like this mega big place. Boom. It's how stand-up in the States goes, you realize, is it goes back and forth between the coasts of when it's cool. Yeah. You just have to decide which city you like to live in and which city you want to visit.
That makes sense.
Always be doing one of the other, one of the two.
I want to hear about the difference between New York and LA and why LA is like weird right now. But real quick, I did a show, Yuck's Road show the other day, and the headliner, who was very nice, welcome back. Take that, Portugal. You can't keep Ashley down.
Yeah, that's
my internet is out and I'm hotspotting.
Oh yeah.
So it's gonna be clunky, I think.
Actually, let me ask you this question. Yeah. Do you think parents are sick of the little Portuguese tarts? Because I never got sick of them.
No, they're delicious.
Not yet. I am. I've only had them like twice in my life, and I don't like them very much. So they're just horrible. I'm not a custard fan. I'm not a custard person.
Oh yeah,
that'll do it. Yeah, that's a tough sell then. That's a tough sell.
My folks love them though. My folks really love them, and apparently all the coffee in Portugal is good coffee. So
yeah.
Should I tell you? Teeny weeny pastel de nata, teeny weeny ones, so they can just have one of those with a coffee, and it's just like nice.
Oh fuck yeah!
Did I tell you guys about the only time I've been to Portugal?
I'll tell you about the only time I've been to Portugal after you tell me the only time you've been to Portugal. My story's also insane. Go ahead, Chris.
I've never been.
Mine's not so much insane. It's just like it felt like an accomplishment. I used to work for a Italian liqueur called Tuaca.
Sure.
Which is like sort of a vanilla.
So on track for you.
Well, it was at the time. It was the most popular drink in Brighton. Brighton was the only city where something outsold vodka at the time, and it was Tuaca. Tuaca was what everyone drank. It was like how in Montreal, you know how everyone does Jameson shots.
Yeah,
it was like that.
And like it's not really a thing anywhere else. Yeah.
Yeah, and so
terrible.
I got brought on as like a brand ambassador, cocktail creator for Tuaca, and they got bought by Bacardi Brown-Forman, which is this huge international company, and so they flew me and two of my buddies.
Actually, corporate shilling, by the way, that's what she was just doing. Thank you, Ashley, for throwing up at Chris's consumerism. You know who's here up on the top tier? You know who's up here on the top tier? Anarchist socialists. You know what I mean? The fucking when the revolution comes, you want to be on this side of the line. Not down there with corporate whore bets.
I mean, if you want
corporate whore bets.
Yeah.
Enjoy not going to Portugal, bitches.
Already been.
So they had like their global big party / meeting in Portugal, and so they flew us out to introduce their staff to Tuaca. And so we did like
Tuaca. I hate it as a word. I hate it so much.
And the label was so fun. They got rid of it. They modernized it. But back when I started it, it just said Tuaka on it. And then underneath was a picture of, I think it was like Methuselah or like Moses or something. It's a biblical story. Someone will know who I'm talking about, where his daughters had to get him drunk. I think it's Moses. No, it's Noah. His daughters had to get him drunk so that he could impregnate them so that they could restart humanity. And it was a picture of this old man drunk on the floor surrounded by his daughters. It was like an old etching. It was very strange branding.
I was talking about with Carl Donnelly about how goodbye, Ashley.
Bye, Ashley.
You can say what you want about the millennials. We brought graphic design. Before that,
yes.
labels, you have to be told what they were.
They were nuts, man. It was so fun. But so they flew us out to Portugal. Actually, a stink face.
Actually, you haven't missed anything.
I'm so pissed off at my internet.
I know, and you're gonna at this rate, you're gonna miss my Portugal story. And it starts in San Francisco.
Ooh. But anyway, so we
go ahead, Chris.
So we do our presentations and we get them up to make some cocktails and whatever. It takes about an hour, and then afterwards we got all of Bacardi Brown Foreman so drunk. Three silly boys. It was myself, Liam Davey, and Pete, last name forgotten.
Pete's last name.
We all went. We took him to the bar and we just started a party. We were like 20. We were all 21, 22, and we started a party that didn't end until very, very late. And we watched all these corporate people make 1,000 professional mistakes. And then the next morning, we were sitting by the pool about 9:30. We'd had breakfast. We had pina coladas in our hand because we're young boys next to a pool in Portugal. And no one from the company could look us in the eye. We broke a corporation.
That's excellent. That is so good.
That's pretty good. Mine is the following. You know how I was the face of a Danish gum for a few years?
Now who's a corporate shill? At least mine wasn't on TV.
Still you, Chris. Mine was not just on TV, it was also in all the movie theaters. So did you not know this, Ashley? Yes, I was the face of a Danish gum. Stimmerol. Yeah, I was a
I knew about the shaving ad, but I didn't know about the Danish gum.
Oh, the shaving ad was excellent. That shaving ad ended up costing me so much money in COVID relief payments because they canceled them all and accused me of fraud over me doing that commercial, if you recall.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know that was why they did that, but I remember that happening.
Yes, that is why they did that. Oh, what a nightmare that was. What a crazy couple of years this has been that I forgot. That's 7 months of my life when I was fighting the state of California. Oh my God. What a time.
I mean, it's now been 3 years.
Certainly
3
has.
years.
Yeah. I've been getting Facebook memories of the videos I started putting out at the start of COVID now.
Oh,
and I'm looking at it and being like, wow, I was unwell. This is. Have you seen that BBC tweet that was like, turns out pandemic depression wasn't really a thing, and people keep tweeting like all the projects they made. And my favorite is, have you seen Frasier looking at video games? That Twitter account?
No, but I would like to see that. I want to see that.
It's so silly. Frasier Crane. It's just still shots of Frasier looking out his window, and then instead of the Seattle skyline, it's just different video games.
Everything I've ever wanted. If there were all just videos then about him watching videos about Red Dead Redemption 2, that's the only thing I would ever need on the internet.
It's so sad. He's got so he posted a picture. I'm saying he because it's Frasier. I don't know who's behind it, but of Adam Scott when he loses his job in Parks and Rec, and he goes, "Could a depressed person make this?" And then he's holding a picture of Frasier looking at video games.
I mean, you are sat in our COVID project there, buddy. I'd be a little bit careful throwing stones there from your.
No, it made me laugh. It was perfect. That was some of my favorite. It made me feel very good looking at everyone's depressed projects. Stevie Martin had a great one where she dueled Margaret Atwood with Bilal.
What?
Yeah, it's harder to explain. Just go to her Twitter and follow her. Stevie's very funny.
I'll never forget when I met Stevie Martin. I'm going to tell you a couple of crazy stories. Here's where I met Stevie Martin. There were with my first Edinburgh show, my first Edinburgh year. There was a show called, alternatively, the Free Beer Show or the Late Show, because they kept running out of free beer to give people. Anyway, I kept hosting it. Anyway, it turns out that guy booked a tent at a Oxford ball. I showed up and had to host a comedy tent at 1:00 in the morning in Oxford for so much money in an envelope. Like, I think it was an hour, and I got so many hundreds of quids in an envelope. Like, I think there was a mistake.
Wow.
Anyway, it was so crazy. Anyway, there was a guy in a full military regalia garb from Turkey, and I was too young into the UK to understand that I'm literally performing for landed gentry. And I just went on and just yelled about how we beat him in World War II. And I thought I didn't really think about the context really going forward, but it was very fun. And like the whole place went nuts. And then Naz was dating Stevie at the time, went on, and it just went crazy and crazier. And then I turned to Stevie and just went, "This is how it always goes when I host." And she looked at me really seriously and went, "Is that true?" And I went, "No." When I met Stevie Martin.
Good old Stevie. He was in a great sketch group with Tessa Coates and another lady.
Another lady whose one-woman show is so funny on the West End now, whose name I can never remember. That's really bad. It's really bad that I never remember her.
Really bad. Can't remember her, but she doesn't promote as much as Tessa and Stevie do. So here's a lesson to you.
Definitely does.
All right. Well, it doesn't show up on my feet, so sorry, lady.
All right. So Portugal.
John is in a Danish gum ad.
Yeah.
I'm in a Danish gum ad. They're doing a
Lisbon of the US.
Yeah.
Right. Lisbon of the US, doing San Francisco Sketch Fest. And the reason why I have a manager coming to see me there who is now my manager. And I have the only way I can showcase for her and shoot this commercial for fat stacks of cash is if I do the showcase and then immediately go to SFO, fly on a red eye to Boston, and then fly from Boston to Lisbon, arrive at 6 a.m. in Lisbon, Portugal, and go immediately on set and film a commercial for 18 hours, which I then do.
It doesn't surprise me at all that you did that.
I love the idea of Danish people being like, "Who's this sad Canadian? Look at his eyes.
Tired." Okay, it gets even crazier. So I get on set, and they, to cut costs, have hired, instead of like the full director, they've hired guys that have done YouTube music videos. So they've never actually filmed a commercial before.
Right.
So there's a bunch of things that they didn't check, like it's being filmed in this river scene. And what they didn't check is it's essentially this like fast river tide thing. So it's not a river. It's just when the tide comes in, it like shoots all the way up. And then when the tide comes out, it just shoots out. And they only realized this with like an hour left to go. And also, thank God I taught canoeing for 2 summers, because they were like, "You know how to use a canoe?" And I was like, "Yeah, but these are like very dangerous particular conditions, how to do this." And like, I was like, "You need to weigh this," and like did it, and they're like, "Oh, it's a really good thing."
It also
that, like,
shouldn't have been assumed that you would have known how to use a canoe.
That's what I said. Like, crazy.
It's fortunate that you did, but it should not have been a requirement.
I remember saying it, like, "What do you think the odds are that I knew how to use a canoe?" And they were like, "Well, we knew you were Canadian." And I'm like,
"Yeah, I knew it. I knew it. They saw Canadian and went, outdoors. That's fine. This guy's fought a moose. He'll be good."
I, by the way, have been thinking about doing that as stand-up. Is that too insane to say that people legitimately thought I did? And you know what's even crazy? I did know how to use a canoe. Like, the other thing is, they were 100%
They were right.
Yeah. I mean, you have to reveal that you knew how to do a canoe last. But yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly.
It is like presuming that Irish people like potatoes. Unfortunately, we fucking do.
Of course, who doesn't? They're potatoes.
Name one person who does. If there's no culture on the planet that hasn't discovered the potato, that hasn't gone, "Boys, tonight we eat." Yeah. Like, what the fuck? Name one person who doesn't like a potato.
Didn't potatoes come from Portugal? Am I making that up? They didn't come from Ireland. They were brought in as an outside.
They were brought. The
crop.
English introduced Ireland to potatoes.
Oh, here we go.
And then took them back. Classic.
Took them back, exactly.
Anyway, so I was supposed to have 2 days. Part of my fee was 2 days in Portugal, but then they were like, "Can we cut that down to 1?" And I was like, "What? Why?" All right, fine. Let's go to London earlier. And as a result of that, my visa, there was a miscommunication on when my visa needed to start. So I landed in the UK with technically a visa that did start, but they misread the form.
Ooh.
And then I had to immediately go to Lille, France, before a snowstorm hit, got my visa, and it was the craziest thing. I literally, in a day, went from Lisbon, Portugal, to London, through London to Lille, and back to London, and then I literally got to Carl Donnelly's house, turned the key in the lock, and I remember, and it literally, I turned around and it started snowing as I got to Carl's house, and I was like, ooh. And then I ate a delicious Portuguese tart that had been in my bag all day, and I gunned 4 cigarettes in his backyard and and then I literally snipped in the snow on my Levi's jeans and tore the knee. To bring this full circle, tomorrow I'm going to treat myself to a pair of Levi's jeans.
Oh, this story happened 3 years ago. John is finally buying those jeans.
That's right. Yeah, that was February of 20.
I got a pair of Levi's jeans last year, and yeah, I got Levi's jeans last year. They're so good. But I also then immediately lost a lot of weight, and they don't really fit me anymore. And
sneak brag, nice work.
Congrats,
yeah, but they don't fit, and they were really expensive, and I'm really annoyed by that. But my mother took them in, but they're just not lined up properly anymore, and it's really annoying. But then I lost more weight after she took them in, and they still don't fit. So it's just
Ashley, stop with these undercover mistakes. I love it.
God damn.
Yeah. Oh God, I had to get more pockets for my jacket because of all of my diamonds.
I know, right? No, I don't
actually feel self-confident, self-conscious.
It's just annoying because it's already so hard.
I think that we have killed enough time. Ashley, you're leaving early, so let's talk about what you put in our UTS chat earlier this week. That is the most, I'm going to say, European emotion I've ever heard in my entire life. Go ahead. Ashley, the floor is yours. Let's sing Ashley's theme. Chris, you and me together. Ashley
oh, yeah. Has a story to tell, and it's shameful because it's Ashley.
It's so shameful.
Not really a shame. It's more just indicative of a complex human. Hey, it's Ashley.
Shame.
Alan Key. Oh, what a great song.
I enjoyed that song. It triggered some deep-rooted anxieties, but here we are.
Oh, music should. That's what music's for, is to make those deep-rooted anxieties.
What I put into the chat earlier this week was that I had encountered a human being and gotten quite a sneak attack of chemical hormone emotions.
We're getting fancy now.
I was not expecting, because I was aware of this person's existence before. Didn't really had enjoyed their.
This person is essentially Joey if Joey was real. Do you understand? Like this guy essentially does have a how you do it. Like, do you understand? I want to point out, by the way, I'm so right, and there's no way of figuring out who I'm talking about. I feel so pleased with myself. I'm so happy about it. I like it. I like me. I like everybody.
Oh, we'll see. We'll let it slip at some point. We're not going to say the name, but there's going to be some details. We got some sleuths in the truck.
There will be some sort of detail, I'm sure.
So, Ashley, what is Ashley? There's nothing wrong with being attracted to somebody, having a chemical hormonal reaction, as you put it, or sploosh, if you want to put it correctly. But what was it exactly about this person that made it so shameful, Ashley? What was it? Do you want to explain? Were they Kang?
Yeah, is it Kang?
Is it Kang?
Are you attracted to Kang?
Oh, God.
Kang's beautiful. He's not on the inside, but on the outside, he's beautiful.
No, incorrect.
Sure. I just wasn't expecting to be quite so attracted to this person.
That's again,
why, Ashley? But why?
This
What
person is
crazier.
absolutely. This person is so English, like it can't be.
How could you not realize that as an Irish person, and then immediately that is so wrong? It's then immediately yo 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 yo. You know what I mean? Like obviously.
Yeah.
I grew up across the river from French Canada, where my grandmother like vehemently hated all French Canada because the cultural shifts in that province led to her not being able to live there anymore. And let me tell you who I was attracted to and guess where I went to university? French Canada. Yeah.
Guess who we married?
Yeah, guess who I married? Yeah.
Well, if I marry this person, our child will be called a Good Friday Agreement.
Oh my god.
Nice.
Yeah.
See, this
Call
is the
him
problem.
Sean,
I have now thought
spell
of
it
a few different
SINN.
punchlines for this, so it is going to end up on a stage, and too many people are going to know who I'm talking about.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Shameful.
Even better. It's even better.
But it's now too funny.
What do you
that
think,
I can't use it?
If you met Jerry Adams and you said to Jerry Adams, "This is the person I'm attracted to," I think Jerry Adams would be like, "That's not what we fought for." You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
And by the way, when Ashley says very British, she doesn't mean like in an Adam Rowe way.
No.
it's a different kind of British
way because it's Freddie Quinn.
It's not. Yeah, it's not Del Boy. It's
and when she means very English, you know who she means? She means Greg Davis because it's Greg Davis. You know
it's Greg Davis.
I would not mind if it was Greg Davis. I fucking love
Greg
Davis.
I could see you liking Greg Davis.
God, I love Greg Davis so much.
Also,
he's very tall, and he was very nice to me when I met him, and I wasn't expecting that.
He seems so nice, and he
was very nice.
I really like his stand-up.
Chris, were you there? Hey, it's all right. Chris, were you there when I met Greg Davis?
I don't think so. I met him at a university show, that art university on the Thames by King's Cross.
Oh yeah, no, I met him
St. Martin's or something.
I met him in the Loft Bar, and I couldn't get to the smoking area because there was a famous person on there.
Oh yeah.
And then I finally was like, "Can you let me on the smoking area? I have to go host Stupid late in live," so they let me go on the smoking area. And then I looked around and I looked back at the bouncer and was like, "Who's the famous person?" And then like someone like no, it happened. And then like later, much later, he was like, "I'm the famous person. I'm so sorry." He's like, "Oh," I was like, "Oh no, I'm sorry." I'm sorry, but the problem was like didn't know who he was anyway, and I was like, he's now being cool, and I wanted to be like, that's totally fine, man. And it was only later when I was listening to his album, I'm like, oh, that's the guy. Yes, he is famous. That sounds like a lot of people. I was sure you were there, Chris. Oh well.
I only have half memories of Edinburgh at best, so.
God, I have like.
But yes, Greg Davis, very attractive, very much Ashley's type. Not who we're talking about.
Not
someone.
Who we're talking about, unfortunately.
What you're talking about is, of course, Chris Ramsey.
We're getting closer.
I disagree entirely.
No, we're not. We're not getting closer.
In terms of type of British person, we're getting closer.
No, I
from Adam Rowe to Greg Davis.
I know what I
to
like.
Chris Ramsey.
So wrong, and it's so flooding the field with bullshit, and it's the best. You are doing such a good job because you are so wrong. You are so wrong. Chris Ramsey is the fucking. He is the Jeremiah Clampett of British comedy. That's who he is. Like
really, I've never met him, so I don't. Okay.
Chris Ramsey.
I do feel like people.
One of those guys who was just Boulevard of Green Lights. I'm going to start a podcast, biggest podcast in the country. Like
that's a great. I mean, Boulevard of Green Lights is a fucking great sentence. I like that. So Ashley, name names. Who are you trying to fuck out here? Who are you trying to fuck out here in the streets?
I'm not trying to fuck anyone. I just got taken aback by my physical reaction to encountering this person in real life. Have you guys ever had that where you kind of knew of a person, but then you were surprised by how you like? Have you ever been caught off guard by being attracted to somebody?
All the time.
Ashling B.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh, 100%.
Aisling B. 100% Aisling B.
I gotta say this about Aisling B. I knew Aisling B was going to be famous because here's what every guy says when they meet Aisling B. I have a crush on Aisling B, and every other guy goes, and I think every guy is convinced that she was flirting with me. Every single guy. It's the funniest thing in the universe. It makes me
because
so
I've
happy.
had that conversation with every guy I've ever spoken to who's met her.
Mm-hmm.
It's the best. It's so funny to me.
That's
and the
so
amount of guys, by the way, that argue with me. No, it's just me. Oh, is it just you? Is
Yeah.
it just you? And I've made this up to fuck
it's
with
everyone. Because I even felt that way when I met her.
Of course.
Yeah. And what's great about, and I think it's because like I think she's like a genuinely friendly, like fun, cool person,
Wonderful
and so
person, yeah.
I got no sense of fake. Like I met her at that basement new material show that Garrett Pierre Abigail and I ran. She came in, did a set. I ran some new stuff, and then she came up to me afterwards and like she was like, "That was so funny. Like I like this bit and I like that." And I was like, "You remember parts of my new joke?" And we talked for a bit, and I was like, "Am I in love with you? What's happening right now?"
That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. Yeah. Hi, Aisling. Let's get married.
I feel like somebody must have said that to her at some point. Somebody out there has said
they're called
that they want to marry her to her
Hollywood
face.
said that. Hollywood said that.
She starred in a thing with Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd is in love with Aisling B. Do you know that? Paul Rudd is now in love with Aisling B.
Yeah,
he must be.
Paul Rudd.
They'd be such a great couple.
So fun.
I think Paul Rudd's a monster. I guarantee Paul Rudd not that fun in real life. I've thought this the entire time. I'm just going to say this right now. Anyone who's that handsome and in comedy, there's some part of you that's broken. Like, sorry, Paul.
I see. I think because so many people that seem wonderful, like love it, like Conan O'Brien, like takes great glee in having him around, and that gives me like a sense of like, I mean, Conan O'Brien's a very silly, broken toy, and I feel like he only has like it seems like his style of person is just like, I'm here for a good time and we're gonna be stupid. And so I take that as like when Paul Rudd is one of his favorite people, I'm like, I think this guy might be the real deal. It's like Jason Momoa is apparently a fucking sweetheart. And you go, God damn, sometimes this happens. Sometimes this happens.
Here's what I'm gonna say about Conan O'Brien. I thought this the entire time. I've known he has existed. I've never shared this with anyone. I guarantee Conan O'Brien's the kind of guy that's always like, life's super hard, right? And then you're like, hey, don't you have like a bunch of money? And then like the most beautiful woman walks out of his bedroom. And you're like, who is that? She's like, I don't even like her. And you're like, man, you're just sad though. Like that's what
he's sad. He's sad.
Conan's one of those guys that is like, man, life's really tough. And it's like, no, you're just sad, bro. Like you're just sad.
You're just sad. You are neurologically broken.
Yeah. The Tonight Show was not going to work. I love him. That show was not great. I'm going to say it right now. I've said it then, I'll say it again.
But they didn't have time. This is like the Colbert Report was terrible when it started and then became arguably like top 3 modern satire. But it's when people get a new show, they're bad at it. And I felt like they were just finding their feet and then they got it pulled out from under them. I think he was going to do something very special with that. And I'll go even further. He would have revolutionized modern thinking by being an oddball in mainstream television, and we wouldn't have had the anti-vax movement. There, I said it.
No, Chris, we would have had more of an anti-vax movement because there would have been a blowback because he would have been so reasonable. Everyone knows that. Purple Monkey dishwasher. And I'll get you to that Purple Monkey dishwasher comment. So, Ashley, you worked with Jim Davidson and have a crush on Jim Davidson.
Yeah.
I have such an annoying interfering with my entire brain space crush, and it's
okay.
That's so fun. Those are the best.
No,
those are great.
Awful.
Those are so fun.
I hate it so much. I hate it.
Crushes are the best. There's no better feeling.
No,
it
makes me sad.
What? Why? Crushes are just exciting and butterflies, and you know it's not going anywhere, so it's just like nice.
Because I'm not in this person's company. And I'm also not like nothing's going to come of it, so I know that, and I just feel sad about it.
I mean,
that's the joy.
I'm going to say this about the players involved. Not to say that nothing's going to come of it. How do I say this? I know all involved. Something could come of it.
Yeah, you basically just need to announce your intentions, and something's going to This person is not shy.
I'm gonna go further. I don't even know if you need to announce intentions. I think it's more just one of those things where if you're just kind of like, hey, what you doing, bro?
Oh, it's on? Let's go.
Yeah, actually give him one of these.
I do get that. I'm trying to go for things being less
Ooh.
I know, but also we're coming up on a big fucking number for me. So I'm kind of just no, not age-wise. Like I've done that enough times.
What, you count?
You count?
I don't count, but I have a ballpark number.
Whoa.
Like, so you would write like EST period before the number of people that you slept with, and it would say like it could either be established. Is it big enough that it could have been people could misread it as established in this year? Like how they have that outside a building, like EST 1911.
Okay.
No, it's not that many.
How impressive would the Edinburgh show be selling? How big would that room be for them to all fit in? Is it Monkey Barrel 2? Is it the Grand?
Is it?
Well, okay, let's pick a venue. I'm gonna say
bring up some venue specs. By the way, you got to be careful because some venues deceptively larger than you expect. Don't say McEwen Hall.
I could purely because I work there now and I know the capacity. I could fill the Stand Glasgow.
Ooh. Nice. Nice.
Pretty good, yeah. I'm gonna say
nice.
Based off of what I'm aware of your
personal I don't want to do that gig.
What a hilarious.
I want to do that gig so badly.
I would watch that special. An hour of you doing stand-up exclusively to people you fucked. Holy shit, what a great special.
That would be so great, but
you could not keep me away from emceeing that gig.
You would be so fit. You would have people being like, "Oh, how do I get a ticket?" And you'd be like,
Well,
there is no guest list.
Good Lord.
All right, now I'm looking at the capacity of the Stand Glasgow because it's either of two numbers in my head, and I'm not sure which one.
I have a ballpark on it. I got an EST.
I could fill the Stand Glasgow seated, which is about 100 and it's approaching 150.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's about right. I had it a bit higher, so I'm glad I clarified.
Yeah. It will take 200 standing, but I'm not quite there.
That's a euphemism if I've ever heard one. Just, what's the it in that sentence? I think I could do. I think I could do Stand Edinburgh. I don't think I could fill Glasgow. I think I could fill Stand Edinburgh. Like crammed, but yeah.
Mine, but you know what? By the way, I've played this room. That's totally fine. I could half fill the Pleasance attic.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
Like so many acts that have played the Pleasance attic.
Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with half full. You know what? You're not going to brag about it, although some have and some will.
Mm-hmm. Some think they're being funny, but we all know they're sad.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, this is just it. I'm trying to avoid becoming sad about it. Like, up until this point, I think I've been having fun. Well, actually, no. Okay, there's already been some sad. But
of course, it is sad.
Well, yeah, it's an Ashley story. Shame.
It's an Ashley story, exactly.
Bigger than that. If you're having anonymous, fun, crazy sex, some of it you are.
It's all
you're walking away from it going, this is a 2-shower day.
Yeah, exactly. And so but I'm attempting to go for slightly more interesting interactions.
A second date, perhaps.
A second date.
A second date.
A date. Sorry.
A date.
A date. Yeah.
Because usually it's
I want to talk more about
gas pedal.
It's just the gas
about me
pedal.
dating. Okay.
But it's been 45 minutes. This is the end of this week's first episode.
Cliffhanger. We're going to talk about what Ashley wants out of a date.
Yeah, guys, see you in hell. This is an old lady talking about sex. See you on Wednesday. We'll be talking about Ashley's crush, dating.
We love you. Bye.
Love you, podcast listeners.
That's all. Penis into her vagina. That's all.